Lamine Yamal, who was on a flight back from Colombia where he was on holiday and did everything he possibly could to try and disguise himself. Here he is.
How do you know that, Sam?
That's very true. And it got me thinking, boys, at your peak, what was it like when you were just trying to not have to deal with fans, just wanting to have some time on your own? Frank, even you who loves the attention, there must have been a time where you just where you just wanted to be let. You told us a good story when your kids were growing up. They got frustrated by it, in fact, because they wanted their dad to themselves. What did you do? What lengths did you go to try and get some privacy?
Nothing, nothing in most of the time, because it's, well, as we say, it's part of the game. When I was going to Disneyland in Paris, and yes, I had like kind of bodyguards and a guide, but people were coming. My kids were unhappy because they wanted dad to be close to them and 100% with him. But it's impossible. It's part of our lives.
They said, Dad, why are you wearing your France World Cup kit and carrying that trophy around?
Take off the medal, Dad.
Just stop it.
I didn't need it. So. I'm not Lamine Yamal, and I'm not as famous. I've never been as famous as Lamine Yamal, and especially nowadays with all the social networks, you could see on the plane everybody with his phone. We didn't have that. We were quiet, and we could have gone to sleep on the plane. Nobody would have taken pictures of you, and it's why he does that. So it's unbearable. It's impossible to have a private life or to have a life in a public situation. So which was quite easier in our time.
But Frank, you say now when you meet up, the '98 squad meets up, Zidane can't go out with you because it just gets ridiculous. Well, that's his excuse.
Yeah, because he's the exception to the rule. I mean, everybody can get out, and he's 28 years after. But Zizou is an icon, and you could see, being the coach of the national team, it's kind of a revolution right now in France, where everybody is expecting something fantastic, and I really hope that it's going to work. But Zizou, Zizou cannot get anywhere. In Paris or anywhere else where it's going to be followed by people, but that's the kind of life I didn't want to have. Hopefully, I wasn't good enough to have that kind of life. But it's a real nightmare. Really, it's a real nightmare. I'm not envy anybody like that, like Messi, Lamine Yamal, Mbappe, Zizou, and so many others, because they don't have a life. Their life is to hide from people because people want to jump on them.
Shaka, you think Newcastle, a small city, very passionate about its sport, and you look at it when you were there at your peak. What's that like?
So how we dealt with it as a team, and it's probably the only time I've had to deal with it as a player, those Newcastle years, in Newcastle specifically, because of what the football club and senior Italian football team meant to the city. But what you find yourself doing is, well, we all went out as a team, first of all, 30 strong, from the top pros to the young pros on first-year contracts. We all go out together, and you all end up just going to the same places. You go to the same restaurants, or you shop at the same stores. If we're going out for
because you're going to get looked after, or you're not going to.
Yes, so they know the players are coming here. We're going to put them in that. We have a back room. We're going to put them there. They'll be fine, and the owners and the staff know how to manage us. And so you just end up doing the same things over and over whenever you want to go out, and that's kind of how we coped with it, or how we dealt with it.
When you go back to Trinidad, does anyone bother?
No, we don't. Trying to be good, we don't have that kind of fan culture.
Right.
People will come and say hello, well done, whatever, but then move on.
Right.
Nobody lingers. And then during the course of my own career, so my eldest daughter, who just turned 30 yesterday, I thought.
Congratulations! Happy birthday!
Happy birthday, Milana!
Happy birthday!
She was born my first year at Newcastle, and as a result, my wife, who's also from Trinidad and Tobago, every summer we'd go straight back to Trinidad and Tobago. That's where family were, that's where friends were, and we could leave the kids with grandparents, and we could do stuff ourselves. But because we don't have that fan culture, so it was easy for us.
Yeah.
I didn't go anywhere else in my summer holidays, so I never had to. I was anywhere close to the level of a Lamine Yamal or a Zidane, but I never had to deal with that kind of fan adulation in Trinidad and Tobago.
If I may say something before Stevie talks, you know, and showing us that or telling us that he couldn't get out of his house in Liverpool, but it's really different between England and Latin countries. It's crazy. In Italy or Spain, even comparing Paris to Marseille. When I was playing in Marseille, I couldn't go to Marseille. I've been only once in 2 years in downtown Marseille, and I pretended to be on the phone for 2 hours because people wanted to talk to me, and they were jumping on me, and they say, Frank, we need to talk about the game. They want to be part of that. It's part of their lives. I remember Marcel Desailly having a tête-à-tête with his wife in Milan, and the fan came and sat with him. And he said, I want to talk about the game. And I said, get out of here.
Wow.
That's what it is. That's what it is. You belong to them. And so Lamine Yamal belongs to the people. So I think it's quite different in England.
I mean, as Shaq said, you go where you're known and where you're used to, basically.
Right.
I mean, I once fell out with my mother. We went to Albert Dock in Liverpool just after it had opened. And this guy stopped us and autographs and the whole thing and spoke to him for a couple of minutes. And I went, okay, thanks very much. And off I went. And he kept following us. And I kept just ignoring him. And my mum kept grabbing me and going, you've been very rude to that man. I said, I've just spoken to him, Mum, giving him an autograph. Right, We're good. 2 minutes later, she's pulling me again going, that man's still there. Why are you not talking to him? And I'm like, calm down. I said, you don't want to, I'm not going to encourage him. I said, you want him to come back for dinner as well? She's like, oh.
Okay.
Which I nearly did, because he probably would have said yeah, but no, in Liverpool though, it was...
How long did he live with you?
I had to wake him up before I came in here the day.
Eleanor's cooking him another shepherd's pie.
Yeah. But in Liverpool was a very working class, certainly was in the 80s. When I had the majority of my time there, it was very working class, and everybody wanted to be treated as though they were as good as you were.
Right.
And so people didn't go overboard. You know, you got the occasional one, but generally people would just kind of, it's as if they were your mates.
That's what I found when we were in Madrid together for the final, when Liverpool were playing Spurs. All these guys are coming up to go, hey, Stevie, how are you? How's the family? I was like, do you know them? Like, no,
well, that's
not
what
at
they're
all.
like. They go, hey, Stevie, how you doing? Great. I'm like, aye, everything's good. Aye, great. Okay. And then off they would go.
Yeah.
And that's what it was like in the 80s.
Yeah.
So, yeah, generally it was like that. There's always the occasional.
But what's interesting, that you've told me, and Craig's mentioned it as well, when you went back to Scotland, there was a kind of air of, oh, you're a Billy Big Spuds now. You're big time.
Really?
Well, that was down to the press, to be honest with you.
Right.
So in Scotland, for some reason, as soon as you go down south, that's how they used to call it. Well, as soon as you go down south, you become better.
Well, England is south. So
aye, but it was used as, the term was used in a derogatory manner.
Right.
And it was almost like, well, you're not one of us anymore. That's what it felt like. And of course, whenever Scotland played, if things didn't go well, it was always the Anglo guys that got the blame.
Right.
It was all the guys who played down in the English league that got the blame. And so there were always this sort of air of, you were different. You weren't one of us anymore, kind of thing.
Okay. You turn your back on.
Aye, it was really weird, but it was because of the press.
Right.
That's the reason behind it.